So I recently posted a video about why the lightsaber changing colors in the Acolyte didn't break any lore like people constantly say it did, and I got so many comments saying I'm wrong, and I firmly believe that I'm correct here. Here's why. Many people claimed in comments that bleeding a kyber crystal is a quote, ritual that takes a long time, which doesn't really line up with what we've seen across its various depictions at all. Other comments claimed that it was invalid because Osha did it pretty much unintentionally, but I don't think that's the best point either. To prove my side here, let's look at every instance of kyber crystal bleeding that we have ever seen in Star Wars. And that's not very hard, because it's only happened 3 other times in visual media. Jedi Survivor shows us Dagan Gera bleeding his crystal, and it looks like this.
My home, and they just expected me to throw it away? Trusted more? No, stop!
Okay, he doesn't seem to have much trouble with it or be very pained by it, but it does release a big wave of energy. Next, we have its original depiction, Darth Vader 2017, Issue 5. In it, Darth Vader, having defeated Jedi Kirik Infala, takes his saber and crystal to the Darkside Cave on Mustafar. The crystal blasts him back, sending him into a Force vision where he kills Palpatine and finds Obi-Wan. Back to reality, Vader bleeds the crystal in an incredibly difficult process with lightning shooting out, and him seeing visions of his life, and then the crystal is bled. Then, finally, in The Rise of Kylo Ren, Issue 4, Kylo Ren bleeds his own lightsaber crystal after killing his fellow students and the former leader of the Knights of Ren. Super similar to Vader's, Ben sees visions of his life and lightning shoots out of the crystal as it cracks and causes him to bleed. The whole process is very painful here too. So where do we land after this? It's not really a ritual based on what Dagan does, and it's more of a process that goes pretty quickly. The energy release is probably the main difference between Osha and the rest, with hers being really similar to Dagan's, except less intentional. Like Osha, Dagan didn't seem too pained by it, and at the same time, he wasn't very conflicted in the situation either. That's where I feel like this differs. Both Ben and Anakin were incredibly powerful Force users that were conflicted in their downfalls. Sad boys, if you will. Maybe the crystal fights back more and releases more energy the more conflicted you are. That could work, and that's how canon's supposed to work. You're supposed to try to figure out these small inconsistencies. Either way, the only real difference between Osha's bleeding with the rest is the blast of energy, and the fact that she didn't do it intentionally. Though I'd counter that with the fact that she was force choking her former master after learning that he had lied to her as long as she knew him, releasing dark energy from one hand while touching the crystal physically with the other. So based on every other example, the main difference in Osha's bleeding is aesthetic. And apparently doing it unintentionally is not really common. Comparing all 4 of these scenes, which are all equally canon, it seems like bleeding a kyber crystal can go one of several different ways. I'm sorry you guys, but I think you're just coming up with reasons to hate this admittedly mid-show because of a coordinated hate campaign on it orchestrated by those with a very clear agenda.